Thank you very much, Mr. Marks. Ladies and gentlemen, as you have probably seen, it's called a closing statement, not a closing recommendation. It's 10 minutes rather than half an hour, so I won't try to evaluate everything that happened here, but I'm trying to point out a few things behind this year's conference and which can have some repercussion from Germany to other countries and the whole of the European Union, perhaps. In 1976, the Victim Recompensation Act was announced in its first wording. It has been amended several times on a European initiative and also at the initiative of the White Ring, the Weiße Ring. At that time, nobody may have thought that it was the start of a new development, a new movement. The starting gun for a development towards a new evaluation and appreciation of the victims of crimes in Germany. Some aspects of this development were genuinely German, others were initiated by other countries, especially Austria, that deserves to be mentioned, which with its early acts, the Youth Court Act, and then in the general criminal law, all the way to ATA, the out-of-court mediation, which sounds better than the German abbreviation anyway, which is called TA, crime recompensation or offense recompensation. And it's part of an integrative overall concept which has a prominent place in the Criminal Procedures Act. Europe-wide, there have been two overarching movements taking stock of this, at least symbolically. On the one hand, mediation, genuinely within the law and also exceeding the law in family law, custody law, environmental law, trade relationships and so on. So mediation is blooming in Germany in some areas outside of criminal law. On the other hand, there is the movement of restorative justice, which is hard to translate into German, as an alternative path to handle conflicts from which crime or offenses have stemmed, and conflicts that arose from offenses and keep on having their effect and having an adverse effect at that. Peace circles, family conferences have sprung up in the European Union. We have a project in Tübingen with Belgium, Hungary and other countries, which is a way to interfere in conflicts that exceed the number of persons immediately involved. There is victim protection, witness protection, and in 2013 there was the act to enhance the rights of victims of sexual abuse, highlights for the further development. So a lot of things have happened at the level of jurisdiction. The EU directive of 2012, which Germany has to convert international law by 2015, and I hope they will do it well and not as often carrying the red lantern at the end of the line. Let's hope this directive will launch a new dynamics. Something that is substantially not satisfying, or at least we don't know how the situation is, and the victims, there are several groups of victims, we don't see how they see the situation. Dr. Steffen has pointed out very well in her expert opinion for this conference. I think she will have to go into that in the Bielefeld Declaration. Otherwise, you can read the text yourselves. And my colleague Christian Pfeiffer will probably have a few thoughts going into the same direction. My summary, as someone who has spent 43 years working with criminal law and at least tried to pass it along to students, is that the German Criminal Procedures Act needs to be reformed soon and substantially. We had 45 committees working on that. Some of them have been useful, but no Minister of Justice has ever reformed our criminal laws substantially. And there is one problem, even if some people don't see it. The Criminal Procedures Act corresponds to the situation in 1876, and all the reforms which we may like or maybe not like have been sort of glued to it. Victims' rights, perpetrators' rights were glued onto it whenever the need was seen. And the consequence is that not only the beginner in criminal procedures, young prosecutors, young judges have great difficulty not even finding the articles, but understanding the system if they haven't heard about it from someone who has a grasp of it. International and European agreements have caused the time and the details of the criminal procedures have changed. The official introduction of deals in criminal law, where the German Constitutional Court has tried to introduce new pillars of control. This deal, this act, was certainly a changing point. The position of the victim from the first investigations to the very end, not only of the criminal procedures, but also as victim aid organizations, to the end of the sentence given to the offender. This must all be constructed in a clean and transparent manner. The position of victims' representatives must be balanced well, better than is the case now. And some people don't like to hear this, but I hope the police will hear it. The role of the police is important with a view to the victims and also to the prosecution and courts, and it needs to be defined more clearly. The position of victim and witness assistance should be made clearer, and the jurisdiction should be clear of too much red tape and too many diverging ordinances in this case. I'm sure a lot of people won't be interested in this, but it has an effect on them anyway. This German Crime Prevention Conference, with all its discussions, conferences, stalls, posters, information leaflets, has shown very impressively that at the core of many conflicts or problem constellations, which end up in offenses and crime, all this starts before a court case is opened, and the restoration of normalcy of people's ability to get their life back is something that the police and the courts can do only to a limited extent. All the initiatives, all the associations, all the bodies present here on the 18th Crime Prevention Conference have made an impressive appearance. On your knowledge and your experience, be it medical, social, therapeutic, and so on, you can understand and see what the other is. The other, which manifests itself in criminal behavior and victimization, failure, injuries, frustrations, aggressions, passions, misunderstandings, psychological dependencies, other dependencies, revenge, hate, and so on. The human condition, in short, the human factor, and again, what makes people human, or even more than human. Kurt Schneider said, people are good. Man and woman are good, but it's people who are bad. So I wish you a good journey home, and use the knowledge you have gained here. Do something cooperative, creative, controlled, and something that makes the world a better place. So all what that remains to say is thank you very much for coming. Thank you for participating so actively, and specifically to Mr. Marx, the real driving force and soul of this crime prevention conference, together with Carla Schmitz, the chair of the office, and the industrious, hardworking, and very effective team. I think they all deserve our thanks.